All right, this morning we turn our focus back onto some health news this morning. We have a very special guest with us this morning, Dr. Lima, joining us from New York City this morning. Very well-known doctor, also an author as well, who's got a great philosophy that he wants to share with us this morning. How are you doing, doctor?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. It's all about the heart this morning. We know that these are very uncertain times that look like they are going to continue these days. I think, unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to get used to. But I love your philosophy on life right now, and it's an important message to get out there. So explain a little bit what that is, Dr. Lima.
Sure. So as a heart surgeon, naturally, I deal with life and death issues day in, day out. And I can't allow stress to interfere with my performance. So what I found is to focus more on what I can directly control and act instinctively like my own heart does, not paying any mind to what's outside of my control and just focusing on what I can do and doing it to the best of my ability. I call that urgency of purpose the heart way. And I truly believe it's a way of life that can enable anyone in any field to really unleash their full potential and to lead a fulfilling life.
So it's interesting because to me, it sounds like this philosophy and how you like to live is something that was developed, that you found out way before 2020 and the obstacles that we're facing today.
Right.
But now I think it's more important to get this message out. Would you agree? I mean, talk a little bit about how it just fits so well with what the nation and what families are dealing with right now.
Right. You never know what tomorrow brings. And I think so much that happens day in, day out is beyond the scope of what we can control. And having gone through the years of training and stress and the life and death issues that I face, I think if you get caught up in things that are beyond your control, it's tough you'll start spinning your wheels. So I think this philosophy is really something that's applicable at all times, good times, bad times. And it really it's a discipline yourself to focus on, it's sort of a form of stoicism in that you're really just conditioning your mind to not get too caught up in what's outside of your scope of influence and really just knocking it out of the park with what is inside your scope of influence.
Well, and what's interesting? So I'm a mom, I have 3 kids, and I feel like one of my goals, has been to make sure they're well-rounded kids, right? You hear how important that is to be well-rounded. You say not so much. Explain.
Right. Well, I heard the same things growing up, but the simple fact of it is you can't be all things to all people at all times. And just ask any elite athlete training for the Olympics or single parents juggling multiple jobs, raising a family, or students struggling at a high-stress university to get good grades. Personally speaking, there was absolutely no way I could have simultaneously excelled at trying to make the grade at a top medical school, training in surgery, but also finding the time to have chiseled abs, getting a successful small business and volunteering at the homeless shelter. It just wasn't possible. I had to intentionally focus on attaining mastery in my calling. And I think while many of us have become enamored with instant gratification and overnight success, make no mistake, there is unfortunately, not yet at least, a success on demand button. And so in order to achieve mastery, you have to go all in.
So what do you think, the biggest piece of advice that you can give people and kind of how you found your success? And obviously success is going to look different, I think, for everybody. But what would you advise them to do?
I would advise them to first believe in themselves, because success isn't reserved for a select few. No one is destined for success. So the key thing is working really hard. It sounds simple, but it still applies. It's the ultimate equalizer. It's the ultimate talent. And I'm living proof of that. So as long as you're willing to put everything you have into your goals and to never settle for anything less than your best, the sky's the limit.
What's next for you? Obviously, you have this book, and I feel like your passion, I feel like, is just so evident, and that you want more people to hear this message. What do you think is next for you, Doctor?
I'm going to keep doing as much as I possibly can to push the envelope for heart care, for helping others lead more fulfilling lives by not only taking care of their literal hearts, but also their figurative hearts, which is what my goal was for this book. But I think far too many of us are leaving a lot on the table. We're only scratching the surface of what we're capable of. And I hope this book is one of many potentially in the future, or perhaps, a new philosophy that can help others also have the courage and the impetus to push beyond their comfort zone.
Well, again, I think a message like this more important than ever here in 2020. Dr. Lima, thank you so much for joining us. We've been showing your website. We'll make sure that all of the info on where you can get the book as well is on our website.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Dr.